Hi, and welcome to week 9 of our study of consumer behavior. This week we're going to be looking at consumer decisions. Now, your book mentions 3 of them. Let's just briefly go over them. First is a routine choice. This is a decision that's made with little conscious effort. There's a habitual factor involved with this type of decision-making process. In other words, it's sort of like if you go into Starbucks and you just order your coffee. You have a favorite coffee, you have a favorite flavor, you know exactly what you want, how you want it, any additives in it, and there it is. So it's very routine. You don't really have to think about it. Of course, if you want something different, you can, but you don't have to think about it. It's just a routine type of habit. Then there is intermediate problem solving. This involves a limited information deliberation. In other words, you may know what you want, but there may be something different that is involved. You're rethinking your priorities. You're rethinking what you want to accomplish with getting a product. There may be different aspect to a product that you are now considering. So this is the intermediate problem-solving situation. Then there is what is known as extensive problem-solving. This is a fact-finding exercise. This is when you investigate all the different aspects and different products that may meet your criteria for satisfying a particular need that you have. It's more advanced in that aspect. And I'd like to take a look at brand laziness and brand loyalty. Sometimes these two are confused, and there is a difference. So let's take a look at them. Okay, brand laziness and loyalty. There is some confusion here because there may appear to be some overlap, but there are some defining lines between the two. First, brand laziness. This occurs when a consumer makes a purchase based on habit, just like the last card with the Starbucks. They make a purchase based on habit rather than a fundamental commitment to a brand. There's a lack of interest and emotion because the product is comfortable. They've always purchased this product. It's a good enough mentality. The purchase is made. Then there's brand loyalty. This is more of an intrinsic component. In other words, the consumer believes that they have enough information about a product already to continue using it. It's more of it was satisfactory before, it will be satisfactory now, and in all likelihood it will be satisfactory in the future. There's no real reason for me to contemplate purchasing somewhere else. Whereas brand laziness is this: it's good enough, I'm going to stick with what has worked. Again, it seems like there is some overlap there, but there definitely is a defining line between the two, even though it may be a little murky at times. Now let's go on and look at the traditional model of consumer decision making. Okay, in this model, basically your book breaks it down into 5 components of how a consumer makes a decision. First is problem recognition. And this is where a consumer recognizes that they need something. There's something missing in their life, or there's something that is missing in their daily activities that will perhaps make their life easier, make their life more convenient. I mean, fill in the blank with that one. There's all sorts of things of why we decide we need something. Then there's the information search. This is when a consumer considers all the possible alternatives that will satisfy this need for something. It's the investigative process that we all go through, whether we go on to Amazon or the multitude of different platforms out there where you can investigate different products and find one that seems to meet your criteria. Then the evaluation process. This is where a consumer determines what characteristics of a product are important and necessary to fulfill that need. So there's a recognition of a problem. There's an information search where you find out if there's anything out there that may fit your criteria. Then there's the evaluation. You look at a product or a series of products and determine which product fits these criteria that will meet your need. Then the purchase decision. This is when the consumer or you decide that you're going to purchase a product. Doesn't mean that you've purchased it. It simply means that a purchase decision has been made and you've targeted a product that meets your criteria, and whether you purchase it or not, that's up to you, but you've at least made a decision on a product that looks like it meets your needs. Then there's the post-purchase evaluation. This is when a consumer assesses their decision once a product has been purchased. We all go through this. Once you have made a purchase, you've bought a product and you've used it for a while, you begin to be able to refine your thinking about from when you first made an information search to when you've used a product. Did it meet your criteria? Is it satisfactory? Has it really fallen short of what you needed? Your textbook goes into significant detail regarding each of these steps, so I'm not going to belabor or point on each one of these. Take a look at the textbook, and the authors really do a nice job of breaking down what the traditional model of decision making entails. Now let's take a look at some theories of consumer satisfaction. Okay, consumer satisfaction is based on post-purchase evaluations that consumers will make as they integrate the product into their life. Some theories are, first one is dissonance reduction. Now, before we go any further with that, let me go into cognitive dissonance, because this is really at the foundation of what we're talking about here. Now, cognitive dissonance, this is the theory that people experience mental discomfort when their behaviors do not complement their beliefs. In consumerism, when a chosen product appears inferior to a rejected product, the consumer may experience dissonance. This is the unpleasant feeling that, okay, maybe I made a mistake here. I really should have gone with another product. I made this purchase and I went against my belief. I believed that one product was really superior, but did I choose the product? No. I may have gone for a cheaper price. I may have gone for it would arrive quicker at home. All sorts of things may play into that. But when that feeling of, I may have made a mistake here comes into play, that is cognitive dissonance. And in order to relieve some of that, there's a theory of dissonance reduction. Now, how do individuals reduce this dissonance? First is they increase the perceived attractiveness of the chosen product. Yeah, the chosen product may not be as good as an alternative, but really the product may have cost less. That means I get to keep more money in my pocket. I may have arrived faster, so I could use the product and achieve my goals quicker. So anything that will make the product look better in the consumer's eyes, this may help reduce dissonance. Another ploy that is used is to decrease the perceived attractiveness of the rejected product. In other words, yeah, I should have bought this other product, but it really isn't all that good. Maybe there was a problem with it. If I look into it deeper, if I investigate further, I may find other people don't like the product. It didn't meet their expectations. So I probably made a good choice in getting the product that I chose. The third way is to increase the perceived similarities between the products. Okay, you have your purchase on one side and you have the alternative on the other side. Well, how are these really complementary to each other? Did you make a mistake? Well, maybe, but really looking at it, both products are very similar in maybe A, B, C, or D ways. Again, you're trying to reduce this dissonance that you feel that you made a wrong choice, trying to justify to yourself that I did okay here because they're really similar. And fourth, finally, is you just revoke the decision. You just admit to yourself, yeah, I made a poor decision. My bad. I'll learn from it, and you move on with your life. So let's now look at the expectancy disconfirmation theory. Expectancy disconfirmation theory. Now, this states that consumers form expectations about a product before making a purchase. After making a purchase, the consumer evaluates the product based on their initial expectations. The more a product's key characteristics are in line with the consumer's expectations, the greater the likelihood that the consumer will find satisfaction in the product. However, a caveat here. Consumers may be dissatisfied with a superior product if they set their expectations too high. In other words, it doesn't matter. The product may be great and meets all your needs. It checks off all the checks and balances work out. However, the expectations are set so high prior to the purchase that once the consumer gets the product in their hands and they can really evaluate it, it's like, wow, it really isn't as good as I thought it was. Well, did the product change? No. What happened was the expectations that the consumer set for the product were so high that the product itself becomes a letdown. Likewise, the consumer may be satisfied with an inferior product because they set their expectations too low. The product may be way down the list of how it's made, the characteristics that are involved with it, and the different things that are involved in the process of the product may be inferior to a lot of better products, but the consumer has set their expectations of the product so low that the inferior product, this is good. Is it the best? No, but as far as I'm concerned, the product meets my expectations. Again, it's just a matter of balance. It's checks and balances. This is what really the expectation disconfirmation theory has to do with. If you set your expectations too high, you may be disappointed. If you set your expectations too low, an inferior product may be seen as being viable and good enough. Now let's deal with consumer complaints. I think we've all have experience with consumer complaints, whether we are in the receiving end of it or there's something that we have purchased that just does not meet our expectations. Now, consumer complaint behaviors can be dealt with through several avenues from the consumer's perspective. First is the procedural method. This is where an initial complaint process where the company assumes responsibility for the problem of the product and they provide a solution. Nice, if that can happen. Most of the time, in my experience, the company, first off, they ask, what did you do? Did you use the product correctly? Did you follow the instructions, etc., etc., etc.? And providing an immediate solution is, you kind of got to jump through some hurdles. The second way is an interaction or interactional justice. This is when a company responds honestly to the consumer's complaint. The key word there is honestly. Again, a company is in business to make money, not to give it back. So if a company can find a way of satisfying a consumer, I should say, without refunding any money, at 10 to 1, they're going to take it. Is that an honest way of doing it? I'm going to say no, but that's the way of the world. The third way is a distributive justice, whereby a company provides compensation, giving the money back to the consumer through refunds or replacements and repairs of the product. Either way, dealing with consumer complaints is probably one of the most challenging aspects of doing business in today's world, especially in light of the internet and making online purchases. First off, you don't know what you're getting through Amazon or UPS when they deliver something, or FedEx. You can't be really sure of what you're going to receive when you open up the box. It may be great, and it may be not so great. Then you've got to go through the process of dealing with customer relations. And that can be a real daunting situation. Not only 10 to 1 do you have to deal with computers and press 1, 2, 3, and 4 about 5 or 6 times before you even get the chance to speak to a human. Once you do speak to a human, whether you're going to be clearly understood, you're going to get your point across, is a whole other dimension to consumer complaints. But that about does it for this chapter. Again, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to contact me, and don't feel like any question is not worthy of my time or attention. If it's a question for you, then it's important. Okay? So I will see you in our next chapter, chapter 10. And until then, blessings and good luck, and bye-bye.